G'day guys and gal. In Warhammer 40k, it's generally pretty easy to see who are the good guys and who are the bad guys. Spikes, horns, poor dental hygiene indicate bad. Gold, blue, or clean indicates good, just as a general rule of thumb. However, this line between identifying good and bad becomes blurry when we compare the good Mechanicus with the bad Dark Mechanicum. To help distinguish between the two, just remember that the faction that lobotomizes innocent people to turn them into cyborg slaves while working their lower class to death in appalling conditions are the good Mechanicus, whilst the faction that wanted freedom from a tyrannical overlord who took away their sovereignty by lying are the evil Dark Mechanicum. Puh. See, really easy. Those Dark Mechanicum folks are a disgrace. You ever wonder how the Traitor Legions still have knights, titans, and armor despite how disorganized they always are? The Dark Mechanicum is the answer. Before we get started, the latest and greatest major mini I released last week, the King Orc, sold like a hooker at a Viagra testing clinic. We sold out within a few hours, and a lot of you guys and gal have asked if they'll come back because you missed out. But as I said, there was and only ever will be 100 of the true scale King Orcs. However, as of today, you can now pick up the significantly smaller King Orc at a fraction of the cost. The new King Orc is about the size of a Primarch, so it would be a great proxy for an especially large war boss. Available from the store now. It's been great to see people get their major minis painted and sent to me for the $10,000 painting competition. Max, with his awesome take on the Shark Daddy, giving him a new bony tribal appearance. Sio, who converted his Terminator Lord into a corny boy, even giving him his own warband. Brad, with his simple yet clean Nightlord scheme. Aaron, with his Lord of the Night Nightlord scheme. Remember guys, finishing the bases and taking a good photo is just as important as a good paint job. Today we'll go over the lore of the Dark Mechanicum and the Schism of Mars, detailing why about half of the Mechanicum broke away from the Emperor's realm, what happened when they did, and what they're currently up to. Let's get into it. The cutesy zero ethics toaster fucker Mechanicus that we all know and love today is quite different from the Great Crusade and Horus Heresy era Mechanicum. It's now considered a sub-faction of the Imperium rather than an ally and vassal that it used to be. The Mechanicum of Mars had existed for thousands of years before the Emperor swooped in and yoinked their sovereignty using a magic trick. They were a proud people, technologically advanced, and one of the few pockets of humanity that were able to overcome and triumph over the Age of Strife. They had their titans, knights, Scutari, and battle robots for centuries before the Emperor came. The point I'm trying to make is that they stood on their own 2 feet, or 8 feet, depending on how hard they were cosplaying as their favorite Bionicle. When the Emperor came to them, he needed their forges to build his weapons, vehicles, ships, and literally everything else. However, Mars isn't just going to give some random dude all their shit, no matter how beautiful they may be. Hence, when the Emperor came, he fixed the machine Jesus style, and more or less convinced most of Mars that he was the Omnissiah, a mythical avatar of their machine god who was promised to one day come and lead Mars into a new golden age. With him now appearing as their Jesus, they bowed to his will and created the tools of his conquest. However, there were some that believed him to be a liar, a powerful psycho who had tricked Mars into thinking he was their chosen one. They didn't speak of this out loud, as the other Martians would have destroyed them as a heretic, or the Emperor would have crushed them with his armies, but that resentment was still there. A good question people ask: was the Emperor actually the Omnissiah, or did he just lie out of his ass? Well, you could say both. Mars gained its technological supremacy due to the fact that the Emperor knocked out and buried a fuck-off massive shard of the Void Dragon, the Catan god of technology, under Mars. Then the Void Dragon's dreams saturated the planet and made the people more intelligent. So technically, the Void Dragon is the Omnissiah, with the Emperor just knowing how to take credit because he set the whole thing up. However, if you are the one that used the Void Dragon as a tool, you have created the cult Mechanicum. So would you not be the Omnissiah? It's an interesting debate. However, regardless of the technicalities, the unfaithful Martians had a point. The Emperor was lying in some capacity in order to use the Martian forges. These resentful Martians, which included the leader of Mars, the fabricated General Kelborg Hull, bided their time. They couldn't risk open rebellion. However, when Horus Lupercal, the War Master, drank the Chaos Kool-Aid and declared jihad on the Emperor, Mars officially declared for Horus. Yes, that's right. The Mechanicum joined the traitor's side, making it once once again a bit of a head scratcher how the traitors are lost. The Mechanicus didn't turn away from the Emperor just because of the Great Lie of Mars, as it's called. Horus offered the fabricated general a number of things. Firstly, Mars would truly regain its sovereignty. All Imperial forces would leave Forge Worlds alone to their own devices. Secondly, Horus gave the fabricated general 2 extremely valuable STC shards. For context, the Mechanicum would and has blown up Imperial worlds if it meant getting one of these, and even once gave 2 guardsmen an entire world to say thank you for finding them a low-level STC shard that taught them how to make sharper knives. Thirdly, Horus would remove all restrictions on experiments and technology, meaning they could fuck around with the stuff that the Emperor had explicitly banned, like AI. This part is important as it is one of the defining features of the Dark Mechanicum. And finally, he would give them the access code to a secret vault that was full of extremely no-no banned technology that the Emperor had sealed forever. You know shit is evil and powerful when it gets sealed away instead of destroyed. With this generous offer combined with the fabricated general's own resentment towards the Emperor, the Mechanicum joined Horus's cause. This obviously didn't go over super well with many of the Martians who believed the Emperor as the Omnissiah. Although a Mars officially declared for Horus, about half of the Martians rebelled, aiding the Imperium and waging vicious wars on the surface of Mars. Enough Martians were able to get to Terra that they were able to create an entirely new and advanced Astartes battle plate in time for the Siege of Terra. The Mechanicum were a massive asset to the traitors, directing supplies away from the Loyalists, bolstering traitors, and causing an all-round ruckus. One of the main reasons why the Istvan Dropsite Massacre was such an overwhelming victory for the traitor legions is because the Mechanicum had recently created armor-piercing bolter rounds that were designed to kill Astartes. So during the battle, each traitor bullet was worth about 3 Loyalist bullets in terms of damage. The true birth of the Dark Mechanicum wasn't this treachery, however. It was when Kelbor Hal opened up the vaults of Moravec, which were the no-no sealed vaults that I discussed before. In the vaults was warped-infused technology, a lot of chaos, and insane viruses. When Kelbor embraced the technology and its tainted code, it unleashed literal chaos all across Mars. Computers started playing hentai on full blast, fleshlights grew teeth, and it was all round a shit time. It also twisted many of the Mechanicum adepts into chaos abominations. They begun making cook shit to help the Warmaster's cause. However, as we know, the power of friendship prevailed, and Horus's bold, shiny head got splattered as the Emperor killed him and won the heresy for the Imperium. With Horus's defeat, the traitor legions fled to the Eye of Terror, leaving the traitorous Mechanicum a bit, vulnerable. With the Loyalist counterattack combined with the Loyalist elements of the Mechanicum rising up, the traitor Mechanicum, which was now the Dark Mechanicum, also fled to the Eye of Terror. Now, one of GW's greatest crimes has been almost completely ignoring the Dark Mechanicum's existence post-heresy. They have no models, bare bones lore, and no real apparent direct impact. However, to their credit, this is kind of lore accurate. The Eye of Terror has fuck all Forge Worlds, terrible mineral extraction efficiency, and not that many people who know how to build shit. On top of that, each Dark Mechanicum adept is a free agent, doing whatever they want or serving the highest bidder. There is no unity of purpose like there is for the newly reformed Imperial Mechanicus. Many of the Dark Mechanicum would rather perform fucked up experiments or shove demons in machines rather than help the traitors' cause. Chaos Knights and Titans are still a thing, which means there are definitely still plenty of Dark Mechanicum keeping things afloat, but that's about it. Funnily enough, even though the Dark Mechanicum is kind of right about the Emperor not being the Omnissiah, they think the Omnissiah is a warp entity, an aspect of the Chaos Gods, which is very wrong. Even more wrong than calling the Emperor the Omnissiah. Fuck, I would love to see Mars's reaction to the news that their god is a fucking Xeno. It makes sense why they get such a hard-on for Necron Tech now. They have the same daddy. Other than the philosophical differences, is there really much difference between the Mechanicus and Dark Mechanicum? Is it unfair to call the Dark Mechanicum evil when the Mechanicus also performs fucked up experiments and procedures that seem to exist purely to laugh in the face of ethics? Yes, there is actually key differences. The Mechanicus is an unfeeling, uncaring machine. It values logic, efficiency, and effectiveness. If they do something that seems cruel and unethical, it's merely the unfortunate byproduct of the fact that their method is the best for getting that job done. They do not torture people for fun. They do not build abominations for a laugh. They have a strict red line that they do not cross. That line doesn't exist for the Dark Mechanicum. They will blend 1 million babies in a stadium-sized blender, then use the babyfied muck from the blend to lubricate the armor joints in their Chaos Knights, not because it is the best lubricant, but because they are fucked in the head. In saying that though, not all of them are like that. There are many who haven't drunk the Chaos Kool-Aid, however don't believe in the Emperor and like to do ethics-free experiments. Deltrian, a Dark Mechanicum Adept who used to serve the Night Lords, was actually a pretty cool guy. If it wasn't for the fact that he was on a Night Lord ship, you wouldn't have been able to tell him any different from any other Mechanicus Adept. However, the Mechanicus are extremely embarrassed and hateful towards their faithless cousins, and will prosecute them with extreme prejudice, which is probably one of the reasons why the Dark Mechanicum servants don't like to leave the Eye of Terror often. Getting tortured by a loyalist, fanatical, mechanical hentai monster would be a pretty shit experience. I guess the saddest part about all this is the fact that the original purpose of the Dark Mechanicum was to push the boundaries of science and technology beyond anything that had ever been created. No limit, no red tape, just pure invention and innovation. However, almost everything the Dark Mechanicum creates now is the complete opposite. Warp-infused tech stolen from Xenos or Imperial forces. No logic or reason, no reliable formulas, just sorcery and witchcraft which follows no understanding of science. But what do we expect? The Chaos Kool-Aid has shown to be a great way to become ugly, lose your soul, and become the exact opposite of what you originally intended when you first drank the Kool-Aid. But hey, it's the Dark Mechanicum which creates the gear for the Noise Marines, so we'll give them a pass. If you enjoyed the video and you want to support the channel, then pick up the King Orc. Stunning model, I can't wait to see what you guys and gal do with it. Hit the subscribe button, then hit the real subscribe button for more unethical content. Join the Discord for more memes, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.